Welcome to the 2023 Authortube Writing Conference, sponsored by Fictionary, a story editing software for writers. My name is Sam Wicker. Welcome to my channel. And today I am speaking about e-writers and if the SuperNote is the e-writer for you. First things first, what is an e-writer or an e-ink tablet? They are built a lot like tablets. Some are pretty much tablets in and of themselves. They are devices where you can write directly on the screen using your finger. Most of them have moved away from that. Or with a stylus or e-pen. Most have a pretty little stylus or a ceramic nib pen, like the SuperNote, to use with your e-writer. Most of these e-ink tablets or e-writers feel like paper as much as plastic can feel like paper. And most of them have handwriting recognition that can be translated into text. Now, it's depending upon the e-writer as to how fast or how well the handwriting is recognized and translated into printed text. Some e-writers only have one or two ways to import and export files that most of us are familiar with, but others have a ton, like the SuperNote and books. SuperNote has actually come out with a privacy function for those working in medical fields that want an e-writer or e-ink tablet to uphold to HIPAA regulations. But mostly e-writers or e-ink tablets are built for writers and note-taking purposes. Most of them are as easy as a pen and notebook to use, or a pencil and notebook. There are a handful of e-writers out there that have a small learning curve. Now let's get to the main showrunner here. I'm going to be talking mostly about the SuperNote because that's what I have, but I will have a couple of others that I will touch base on too. The SuperNote has two sizes. Listed here are some of the sizes and weight and all that good stuff, and even the price of the two main sizes of SuperNotes. Other specs are 2 gigs of RAM with 32 gigs of storage. For charging and file sharing, there is a USB port on both of these, the A5X and the A6X. Now, there isn't an A4 size out yet, but according to the SuperNote roadmap, there will be one in the near future, hopefully next year in 2024. The SuperNote roadmap is one of the many ways that the SuperNote team keeps their customers and followers up to date, and I'll talk a little bit more about this later too. The SuperNote is a distraction-free device. You're not going to find many apps downloadable here on the SuperNote. In fact, it only has one, which is Kindle. There is no subscription fee with the SuperNote like the Remarkable. Remarkable does charge a subscription fee to use its application, but the SuperNote partner app is used to transfer and download files, and it is completely free. The SuperNote pens are really nicely weighted, kind of like an expensive metal ballpoint pen, and it feels like a ballpoint when writing. There are 4,096 levels of pressure sensitivity, giving the SuperNote a notebook-like writing experience. The ceramic nib on these pens means it never needs to be replaced, and the pen never needs to be charged. As with any device, you have to learn one another. The handwriting recognition may take some time to learn your curly R's, or you need to tame down that multi-layered M you have going on there. If you get tired of handwriting, you can always link a Bluetooth keyboard too. What else can you do with a SuperNote? There are many things coming soon according to the SuperNote roadmap. You can do document annotation and proofreading and correcting. With PDFs, Word documents, and others, you can annotate within the document and proofread and correct any errors you may find with the SuperNote. If you are a better artist than me, which all of you are, I can assure you, you can sketch in the SuperNote too, just like you can with a notebook. There are different pens within the SuperNote, like the highlighter, pen, pencil, and you can adjust the thicknesses or width of your lines of each. Unfortunately, there are only shades of black to gray that you can use. With the calendar and email integration, it's easy to pop up both in the SuperNote to glance at your to-do list for the day or appointments. Just remember to sync your SuperNote to get the latest updated calendar and emails. SuperNote allows you to sync your files using the SuperNote Partner app or SuperNote Cloud. Again, it's free. Dropbox, Google Drive, or by dragging and dropping files using the USB connection. A little bit more on the proofreading and annotation here. With the SuperNote, you can use proofreading marks in your files and documents, or annotate within the design or document where needed. In the user manual are detailed descriptions of how to begin proofreading a document and the marks or motions gestures that you can use with the SuperNote to do so. You can even add in a handwritten line or two, then double tap it to translate it to text to easily insert into the document. Annotation is easy with the ability to handwrite your notes anywhere on the PDF or document. And within any document, you have the ability to use the lasso tool to be able to turn that particular word into a searchable keyword, or draw a star to bookmark that particular page to be able to come back to it through a searchable menu function. Here is one of the menus that is available on the SuperNote. It is the top menu bar, which you access just by dragging your finger down on the screen. One of the ways that you can begin share files is up on the top menu screen, and that is between devices on the same LAN. You can also do screen mirroring, which is basically screen sharing, especially if you're doing like a presentation or want to show off your latest editing notes with your significant other. You can choose how you want your SuperNote device to sync, whether it's through Dropbox, Google Drive, or the SuperNote Cloud. The search function allows you to search your files by file name or by tag. With the settings function, you can set your preferences on power saving modes, synchronization, manage your apps, which again, there's only one, the Kindle, so on and so forth, onto the calendar and email to-do lists. With its lightweight, the SuperNote is easy to fit into your personal bag or to carry around with you as you do your tasks, go to appointments, attend meetings, and whatever else it is you do during your busy life. No need to worry about whether or not you'll remember to put Jim's birthday in the calendar when you get home, because you'll have it right there with you. Easily sync your personal and family calendar and to-do lists, all with the touch of an icon on the top toolbar. Here we go. Here's the roadmap. The SuperNote team provides updated information through their roadmap they have on Trello. Often they ask consumers to upvote on software updates to gauge interest so they know what to work on next. This is just one of the many ways SuperNote provides customer service and shows interest in what their consumers have to say. I will also mention they get back within 24 hours on an emailed concern or question and have a chat function on their website too. All right, now let's get into the comparisons here. I'm going to compare the SuperNote to the Remarkable 2 and the BooksNote Air. The only particular reason that I have to compare the SuperNote, which I have, to the Remarkable 2 and the BooksNote Air is because I've had my hands on the Remarkable 2 and the BooksNote Air. There are many other e-writers out there, so make sure to do your research. All right, for the Remarkable 2, the Connect app allows you to store files from your Remarkable to the cloud and comes with a protection service for $2.99 a month or $29.90 a year. With vertical scrolling, you don't have to stop to go to the next page when writing. There is a sync before sleep notification. It's a nice reminder, but it can be a bit annoying and get in the way sometimes. It has gestures you can use like the SuperNote to undo or redo text as well. It's not really left-handed friendly because the menu is left justified. Not sure if this will be an update in the future where you can move the menu, but with the SuperNote, you can actually attach the menu to any side. There are no searchable options for files that I know of, and because it is so notebook-like, the Remarkable is not that difficult to learn. There is barely any learning curve. It is the least expensive between the three devices at $378, and it has 8 gigs of storage on it. Now, the BooksNote Air has probably the best workflow due to the number of apps that you can download. It is the most tablet-like out of the 3 e-writers here. Because of the apps, it does have the largest learning curve out of the 3. Because of the apps available also, you have the most amount of options when it comes to file sharing, synchronization, and the like. But you also give away the distraction-free area you have with the Remarkable and the SuperNote. It does have a few issues screen sharing because it kicks you out pretty often. So if that's one of the things that you'll be using your SuperNote or tablet for, then you might not want to do the books. For importing and exporting files, the three e-writers are a tad different from one another. I'm not going to read these out, but if you have a preference on how to import and export your files, feel free to skim this over. Make sure your preferences are supported by your e-writer of choice. Now, again, these will probably be changing as each company updates their devices according to the wants and needs of their consumers and as more become available due to new software updates. Needless to say, choosing between any e-writing device depends entirely upon you, what type of writer you are, and what you want your device to be able to do. If you want some more information, check out the link to KitBet's Master's channel. He has far more in-depth videos on e-writers and tablets so you can make an informed decision. Okay, so it did not go to the actual Q&A page. So, hey, all right. My bad. Okay, so thank you everybody for joining me and welcome to my channel. Make sure to check out the playlist and the AWC website. I have it bookmarked in the chat. And let me go back to all the little starred questions here so we can get to your questions. Now, if you have any further questions, make sure to denote it with a Q and then put your question in, and I will try my best to get to it. Now, if I don't have time to get to it because I only have about 9 more minutes, I will do my best to answer all the remaining questions in the discussion or comments or something like that. All right, so Lauren wants to know if it's expensive. I did list a couple of the prices there, but the Remarkable usually starts out around $378. I'm not sure what it is for like the pound or anything like that. The SuperNote starts out at $459, and that is just the device only. That's not with a pen or the folio. And the Books Note Air 2, I do believe, starts out around $479. I do believe it does come with a folio with the books, but I could be wrong on that. So they're not quite expensive as they could be, not like a regular tablet, so to speak. And Todd wants to discuss a transcription to text and then getting that text off the device workflow. So with the SuperNote, you can see that I do not have the best handwriting at all. My U's look like A's and vice versa. So whenever you transcribe your handwriting to text, you might have to go back and change like the U to an A or the A to a U or something like that. There is a little bit of a learning thing between you and your device. There always is going to be. But the SuperNote is really quick on that. Now, whenever you try to get it off of the SuperNote, there are many ways that you can do that. You can use the USB port to just drag and drop files. You can use the SuperNote Partner app about the same way, drag and drop. You can use Google Drive where you can have it on all of your devices all at once. All you have to do is just sync everything. And yeah, I mean, you can email yourself the file. There's all kinds of ways that you can transfer that file to another workspace or another iPad or something like that. So it's really easy to use. Now, with the SuperNote, it doesn't have integrations with, say, Scrivener or anything like that. So a Scrivener file will have to be transferred to a Word document, and then you can put the Word document onto your SuperNote via the USB or emailing it to yourself or something like that. All right. Next question from Lauren. Do you use it more than writing with a pen and paper? Yes. Yes, I do. I actually have my calendar, my HB90 planner on here. I have written a lot of documents on here. So this is how you can get to your files. Let me see if I can hold it. So there's a line right here. Just drag your finger down And you have quick access right here, or you can just tap the file button. Trying to do this backwards, y'all. And you have all of your documents right here that you can tap on and find. Quick access is really easy. Like if you have a project that you're working on, I usually add it to my quick access panel along with my HB90 planner and like the AWC notes right now. I have that on the quick access too. So yeah, I definitely use this more than I do paper and pen anymore. All right, Todd says, I really wish Kobo and Libby were supported by this device. I sent them the feedback on this. Hopefully it will happen soon. I really do hope that it will happen soon. Right now, the only application that is supported by SuperNote is Kindle. So you can actually read your Kindle books on your SuperNote if you want to. All right, Natalie says, will I have to change my writing style for it to read my handwriting? Not necessarily. Like I said before, there is a little bit of a learning curve between you and your device, but it's really quick. I was really impressed with it. I was really surprised by it. And like I said, I don't have the best handwriting in the world, and I still have to go back and change the U's to A's or vice versa. But other than that, it's perfect almost. And the way you do that is if you open up a Word document and you start handwriting, all you have to do is double tap if it takes it a little while to translate it. But usually it just does it automatically. And yes, so Kit Betts Masters channel has all kinds of e-writers on there. So make sure that you check that out. He can go really into detail with that, with everything actually. All right. Of course you can, Christina. So this right here is mine. This is an A5X, and this is my pen. So you can just, it's kind of hard to see, but it has a ceramic nib. You do not have to replace that nib. I've had this thing for about 1.5 years, and the nib is still working really well. And yeah, it's awesome. So this is the folio. This is the, I forgot the name of the folio, but it's a cheaper one. It's not the leather bound one, or the faux leather, I should say. And this is the size. It's as big as my head. For the A5X. The A6X is a little bit smaller than this. You can go back and compare the sizes of the two on that one slide in this video if you want. But hopefully soon the A4X will be out, and it will be actually the size of a piece of paper. Yes, Kindle. Let's see. Tom says, if you played with all of these, tell us your thoughts on the pen plus screen feel. The Remarkable has a more, it's kind of like a pencil to paper feel. I really, really liked it, but with the limitations on the Remarkable 2, I just went ahead with the SuperNote. The SuperNote has been amazing. The pen to paper feel is like a ballpoint pen feel on paper. It's a little more like if you had a one of those hardback notebooks instead of like the floppy notebooks, because it is a tablet, of course. But yeah, the feel of writing on this is a lot like a notebook and pen. Highly recommend it. I really do. And yes, make sure that you hit up the feedback form. I really appreciate any feedback that you can give me so I can make my presentations better as we go along. Let's see. Just wanted to test it out, see how blind friendly it is. I know you went over the accessibility of it in another video. Yes, there is no backlight on the SuperNote or the Remarkable 2. So that is kind of an issue. And there's no color changing either. So I know some would prefer like a really bright background with really dark lettering, or there's really dark background with bright lettering. It's not really, you can't really do that with the SuperNote. You might be able to do that with the books depending on the applications that you can download upon it. Natalie says, is there a spell check when it is in text or handwritten? No. You kind of have to, so this is the reason why I like transporting everything over to text and then putting everything in a Word document on my actual desktop, because I can use Pro Writing Aid from there. Hopefully soon you can do a Pro Writing Aid on this. I've kind of emailed them about it. They might put it in the works to work with Pro Writing Aid. I hope. Cross your fingers. Let's see. Does it beat having an iPad with a pen accessory? I am not entirely sure if it does. For keeping yourself focused, it probably will, because you won't have to worry about going to playing on other apps on your iPad as you would with the SuperNote. But I much prefer this over an iPad. Is it heavy? Not really. It's kind of like a hardback notebook kind of weight. How long is the battery life? So I've had this uncharged for 2 weeks now. It's about maybe 13 days, I would say. And I am at 58%, and I've used this almost every day. So yeah, it has 2 weeks of battery life. Books has about 2 weeks of battery life. Remarkable is about 3 to 4 days of battery life. Hey, Dreaming Truth. Oh, I got to finish up here. I am running over. I am so sorry. That like a front light may kill it for me. I don't know. I'm considering buying a SuperNote and a books and returning one. That might be a good option. That way you can get your hands on both. I know some writer groups, if you're part of one, someone might have a book, someone might have a SuperNote. You can always ask your friends to see. All right. Again, I am running over time. Thank you so much for joining me. And if you have any more questions, be sure to put them in the comments, and I will get to them as quick as possible. Make sure to check out Fictionary. I'll sponsor for the AWC, and make sure to fill out that feedback form. Thank you so much again, guys. Bye.